Hey, what's up, guys and girls? Just gonna go ahead and get my other chat up, and we'll get started. Sorry for the delay. I haven't really done a live stream in quite a while. We can get into that here in a minute, but yeah, appreciate you guys being here. Let me go ahead and get over to YouTube and pull this chat window down. All right, so it says it's loading. All right, I probably should start doing this before we get into here. Pop out chat, good to go. All right, cool. So now I got both chats up. The reason why I do that, for those of you who are wondering, is just so I can see messages and replies a little bit sooner before it comes over to StreamYard. That way we can try to keep the chat moving as quickly as possible or as efficiently as possible. But other than that, almost aquatic bobs. I almost misread that. I just wanna point that out. But hey, what's up? Yeah, so this is it used to be the weekly live stream Q&A. It's kind of just a hangout. Ask your questions. They can be reef related, non-reef related, jujitsu, whatever you guys want. Feel free to ask your questions. We kind of do this for half an hour to an hour, depending on how things go. If no questions come in, I end the stream just because I'm not really good at just talking to myself. But I don't really know how many people are going to come in given the fact that we haven't done one of these in a while. So with that said, I guess I give you guys a little bit of an update while we wait for people to come in. Voice is a little messed up. I got sick over the weekend. As you guys know, the kids go back to school in the fall, and now it's just a germ fest. That's what it is. It's just constant germs. So I got a little bit of a lung thing. It's going away. It was pretty rough on Saturday, but it's a little bit better now. Other than that, just kind of been doing a lot of training. I was going to fight on a competition on October 8th, but I just couldn't get that weekend free. So going to pass on that and do the next one, which is November for Tap Out Cancer. I'll put a video on that and link that stuff. And if you guys want to support me while I do that, appreciate it. Yeah, look who's back, right, Caleb? Yeah, man. It's been a little while. I really don't like being gone that long. I'll tell you, a lot of people who come on, I do get emails from people asking why am I not creating as much content? I guess I can address that right now. I think I've talked about it over the last couple of years, but anyways, 2 years ago had some issues. End up now I've been going through a custody battle. It's almost done, thankfully so, and it's just been pretty draining. As anybody who's experienced this stuff, is pretty exhausting, not only financially but emotionally, and I just haven't been up to making a lot of content. I know before all that stuff went down, I had endless time to create all these videos. I think I was doing like 4 or 5 a week. I would love to get back into that. I'm just trying to figure out how I can do it now. But with that said, that's the main reason why I haven't been creating a lot of content. Plus, I do a lot of training for jiu-jitsu. I'm looking at like 5 days a week right now, something like that, depending on kind of my schedule. But so I do a lot of that as well. So yeah, so that's kind of the reason why. Yeah, family first, man. It's just the way it is. Anybody who's gone through any kind of custody battle or anything like that, it's definitely it's pretty taxing. It's just exhausting. Thankfully, so we're almost done, and then hopefully we'll be done with that for a long time. Hopefully, if not, then we'll just kind of keep going. But yeah, it's just kind of rough. But other than that, everything is doing pretty good. I am going to get an update for you guys for the 300. I put some new corals in there. So I've done videos on coral placement in the past and kind of my thought process. Sorry, I sound weird. My thought process on putting corals in the tank and where you should place them and stuff like that. And I just took a whole bunch of stuff out of the tank and put some different types of corals in there just for growth reasons. And so you guys get an update on the 300. It's growing. It's pretty good. And I want to do how the business has changed and just kind of keep you guys in the loop, because again, I'm getting emails and questions about, why isn't there any coral in stock? What's up with all the 3D printing? What's going on? Because the business has changed a lot. I've been doing YouTube for 5 years now. The business has changed quite a bit over that time, and I just kind of want to give you guys a rundown. So yeah, we'll do that. I'm also going to start doing some content that's a little bit easier, probably just be sitting in the office here doing some Q&As, stuff that's really easy to get out and edit wise and get you guys some content. So Just bear with me while I, my life transitions, I guess. Reef and Chill, what's up? What's up? Hope all is well. Leak testing my new build right now. Glad to have something to listen to while I do it. Hey, awesome, awesome. Innovative Marine 100 EXT. More excited about that hobby now, more than ever. It's a good feeling. Yeah, there's nothing like when it comes to new feelings and new things with a hobby. There's nothing like setting up a new tank. This can be freshwater or saltwater. It's such a great feeling because it's the anticipation of what it's going to become and just the whole process of building it. It's exciting. I know, man, my throat is jacked. I got to get some water if this keeps it up. Whew, I'm already starting to lose my voice. It's only been like 6 minutes. Anyways, when it comes to creating content, creating a new tank, it's that whole process. Like really early on, when you're just learning, you have the excitement of the unknown, and then once you know the process, you get the new excitement of building something, knowing that it's going to work out, and you just have to wait for it to grow. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome feeling. I can't wait to start the 300 or even the 1,000 over. And just have that feeling again. But I got a little bit of it when I removed that rock structure and removed all the coral from the tank and then put new coral in. I got a little bit of that feeling back, but yeah, my voice is shot from all that dick. I don't know about that. I guess that's one way to pay off bills, I suppose. I don't know. I would do an OnlyFans, but I'm trying to have a career, so. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about that. But anyways, yeah, my voice is super jacked. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Hope all is good. Hunting season coming up quick. Yep, Saturday. I went out yesterday. What's today? Yeah, I went out yesterday with Axel. I posted some pictures on Instagram. He really loves being in the woods, but we went out and I put up. I do saddle hunting. So what I don't like to do is I don't like putting all the sticks up at 5 a.m. So I got a pretty good spot. They put the field. They have soybeans this year, which is really nice. I love when they have soybeans because they got two main trails. Excuse me. So I went out and actually put 3 of my sticks up and my platform for my saddle hunting. And what I do is I just go out in the morning, put the one stick on, carry my bow, my bag, and my one stick, climb my ass up there and sit. So I'm pretty excited about Saturday. Again, the soybeans is good. Also, I have the veterans hunt this year. You guys know that I go up to Dallas, PA. The prison up there puts on a veterans hunt, which is I'm so thankful for that. That is telling you, it's just a great experience. But anyways, I'm hoping I can snag a couple deer up there this year and get a doe or a buck down here, archery wise. So I'm pretty excited. I still have about 70 pounds of venison from last year, and I actually just made venison and bacon stew today. I always eat a lot of venison like the week of deer hunting, and then I take venison jerky out while I'm in the tree, which is kind of weird, but yeah. So I don't know. I'm a big fan of that stuff. Let's go. Let me get here. Aquatic Bob. I keep saying aquatic boobs. It's gonna be one of those. What could be some of the causes of cyano outbreak? Cyano breaking out when nitrates are 15, phosphates are 0.07. Stable parameters, healthy corals. From time to time, small patches of cyano that start spreading. Okay, so if you're getting phosphate test results of 0.07 and you're getting cyano, that's not what your phosphates actually are. That might be what they are after the cyano has used up what it's going to use up to grow, what's left in the water column. But I guarantee your phosphates are a lot higher than what you're actually seeing. So what I would do is I would remove all the cyano, manually remove it with siphoning, and then the next day test your phosphates. I can almost guarantee they're going to be a lot higher than that. But you can use ChemiClean. I've used that in the past. I'm not really a big chemical person, but ChemiClean is excuse me, man, my throat is super jacked. I apologize. But ChemiClean has worked really well for me in the past with cyano. Sometimes I get a little, I like fat fish, so sometimes I get a little carried away. So I'll get some cyano on the overflow or something. But so what I would do is I would manually remove that stuff and then test the next day, see where your phosphates are at. What you can do is look at what you're feeding. We go through this whole process when it comes to finding algae and issues. So if you're getting cyano, that means you have elevated phosphates. So where are those phosphates coming from? Your water RO system, check your food sources, pellet foods, Coral foods, if you're feeding a lot of green vegetables, nori, stuff like that, that's really high in phosphates. So, yeah, so that's what I would recommend. But if you're getting cyano, you have excess phosphates. Until I use some chemical. Here's the next one. Until I use some chemically, and it goes away in a few months. There you go. There you go. Yeah. I'd focus on looking for the actual, what's up, Carson? The actual source of phosphates. All right. Can you discuss your experience with STN starting from the base, certain SPS like in Acropora and Acro 600? Sure. Yeah, I have a whole video on this too, Martin. You can look up Fish of Hex, maybe STN, RTN. I got a whole video on that stuff, probably a couple of them. Yeah, so when it comes to STN, which is slow tissue necrosis, for anybody who's wondering what that is, usually that's a result of alkalinity spikes. Because there's two different types. We have slow tissue necrosis and we have rapid tissue necrosis. Same thing, just one is obviously quicker than the other, hence the name slow and rapid. Now, slow tissue necrosis is actually a little bit easier to deal with because it gives you time to either cut the coral away from where it's STNing, or you can fix the issue ahead of time and hopefully slow it, and it will stop STNing. Personally, I've had STN start from the base, and I have fixed whatever the water parameter was that was causing it initially. It's pretty common, alkalinity spikes. I'm talking multiple points of alkalinity swing within 24 hours is pretty common reason. If you get new lighting, it's a good, and you don't adjust your par, that can happen. If you put new coral into really high par, it's very common to get some STN. Also, going from no nutrients, like no nitrates and phosphates, to elevated because you started dosing and you didn't really, you overdosed too quickly. Excuse me. That's a good reason to get STN. So I would say, if you're able to address whatever the problem might be. So if you start getting STN, I gotta clear my throat. I'm gonna turn this off for a second. That was going to be too loud. So if you're getting STN, I would go ahead and first test the tank. See your nitrates, phosphates, alkalinity, salinity, see where those things are. Okay. If any of them seem to be out of the whack or drastically different from the last time you tested, that's a good place to start. If you're getting alkalinity issues, like you see your alkalinity spiked, I wouldn't try to drop the alkalinity quickly because that can be just as dangerous as it going up. So just address the reason why it spikes. So maybe turn down your calcium reactor or dial back your 2-part or whatever you might be doing. Test your water parameters. If you can, if the STN does not slow down, go ahead and cut the coral. Now, this isn't guaranteed to save it because STN and RTN, I believe, are more bacterial based. So sometimes cutting it doesn't necessarily save it. And yeah, so just be aware of that. So you could try to cut the coral and refrag it or put in a frag plug or something in an attempt to stop it. So yeah, hopefully that helps you out. Let's see here. Hey, Stephanie. Pretty good. I am pretty busy. I'm going to try to get some more content for you guys and kind of see what happens. But other than that, life is really, really busy, training a lot. And hopefully cut some weight. Trying to fight at 195. I'll tell you right now, being 35 years old, cutting from 210 to fight at 195 is not the easiest thing I've done. I'll tell you, 10 years ago, I could drop that weight with no issues. But now I'm just like, man, sick of being old. It sucks. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. Raymond Clark. Recently I added a frag tank to my display. I haven't added anything to it yet. Let me read that again. Recently I added a frag tank to my display. I haven't added anything to it yet. I noticed some diatoms. Damn throat. Diatoms on the frag tank, although my display is clear. What is happening and what can I do about it? Well, you can just leave it alone, Raymond. It's fine. It's pretty common. It's a new surface area that's not got a bacterial film on it. Diatoms are pretty common when they start growing on those new surfaces. You can clean them off if you want. I really wouldn't worry about it. Let me clear my throat again. Damn. So I wouldn't really worry about it. You can clean them off if you want. They're just diatoms. No worries on that. You can turn the light off if you want. Give it time to build up that bacteria film on the glass and on the surface. Other than that, no worries. I wouldn't worry about it at all. Been away for a while. The tank looks fantastic. Good work. Oh, this tank, this video is like 3 years old, 2 years old. Yeah, this is when the tank, this video is after I started removing colonies and I started cutting it. So it's not as full as it was, but it's pretty close. And yeah, the tank is super empty now, but hopefully um, grow that stuff back. And I'll do a whole video on the tank, the grow out system, the acro disc, the whole process of rebuilding the coral business. Because um, I will tell you right now, Big Bertha, the fish, she is she is the reason for why my business is where it is right now. And thankfully, so I made the decision early on to invest into another income, such as 3D printing. I had a feeling, and I'll talk about this in a video. I had a feeling when she started destroying the tank that it would get to where it is now. And I'll do a whole video on talking about that process because if you're going to grow, if you're going to have a business and you're going to grow all colonies, even just a simple decision of a fish that you put in that tank can completely destroy your business over time. Now, it's not destroyed, but it is definitely cost me a lot of money. Granted, I made a lot from the tank, but I could have made even more if it wasn't for her. But I still love her. She's got great streamers. She's in the tub. She's fat and awesome. But anyways, another video. I'll get that out for you. Do you watch NFL football? And if so, what's your favorite team? I haven't watched football in forever. Yeah, since I was really young. I'm not really into those types of sports. I like combat sports. I mean, I'm into watching. Like, I watch people fight all the time. I like UFC, jiu-jitsu tournaments. I like watching that kind of stuff. I'm not really into the team sports stuff. I don't know. I just I don't know. I don't know. Not really. I just never really sat down and watched it. I don't have a reason though. I can't think of anything major reason why I don't. I guess I just don't. I don't really watch a lot of TV either. I don't know. But I do remember, I mean, I lived in Boston for a while, and the Patriots are a big thing out there back when Tom Brady was winning all the Super Bowls. Other than that, I don't know. I don't really follow them. My wife wants to know if you make 3D printed hats for sea urchins. No, but I can. Do you want me to make 3D printed hats and stuff for sea urchins? Because I can do that. It's not too difficult. What kind of hats you want? You want witch hats? Hats? You want baseball hats? You want? I'm writing this down now. Do you want cowboy hats? I mean, what do you want? Sea urchin hats. I was thinking about doing. This is probably going to get me demonetized. What if we did like mini 3D printed dicks that sea urchins can wear, like dicks and tits and stuff? That's probably going to get me demonetized. Yeah, I'm trying to do good YouTube. I can't help it. This is who I am. I can't help it. I'm sorry, but it'd be pretty funny to have a sea urchin swimming around with a giant 3D printed dick and a set of tits on it. I'm just saying that'd be pretty funny. But yep, there goes my money from this video. But yeah, so moving on. Tim says, I heard it's not good if your rock gets covered in coralline algae because it seals up your rock. Is this true? I have it all over my rocks. I don't know who said that. The thing is the beneficial bacteria that are going to process. So the reason for the rock is for it to host beneficial bacteria and to eventually process nitrates to the point where it turns denitrifying bacteria that live deep inside the rock actually produce. It will release CO2 gas out of the tank. It will release gas out of the tank. So that's really the whole process of rock. Now, there's not going to be enough coralline algae to block out that beneficial bacteria. For one, the really good beneficial bacteria live deep inside the rock where there's not any oxygen anyways, or very little of it. That's where they're going to process that stuff. On top of that, all the other bacteria that are going to process your nitrates and phosphates, they live everywhere in the tank. They live on your pumps. They live on the rock, on the coral. They live everywhere. The cords in the tank, the overflow, all this beneficial bacteria lives in all these different places. So even if you have your rock completely sealed with coralline algae, that beneficial bacteria is still going to live on that coralline algae and still help process nutrients. So I don't think that's a true statement, but I'm not a marine biologist, so there could be some kind of truth in there somewhere. But I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't stay up all night thinking about it. I probably wouldn't even consider it. Coralline algae is a beautiful thing. The only downside to it is that it can really use up a lot of calcium and alkalinity. That's the only downside of it. So I wouldn't worry about it. If people can hang ball sacks from their tow hitches. Urchins can have ball sacks too. That's true. I did see somebody passed me the other day. This guy had this massive lifted truck. Like my truck's not lifted. I got like a 2-inch lift on the front just to level it out. But this guy blew by me and he had this like the biggest set of metal nuts on his tailgate, like his hitch. It's like it was just massive. Like if that ever came loose, it would go through the windshield and probably wipe out 2 cars behind him. It was just this. It's definitely not weight reduction, that's for sure. Anyways, I got an ICP test that has high zinc. I turned the tank upside down, looking for screws and rust magnets with no luck. Any suggestions where to look now? High in zinc. That can come from your food. It can come from you can get higher zinc levels if you're dosing like Reef supplements, like a Reef Plus or Aquavitra Fuel. They have zinc in there. Now, how high is high? Like, is it to, oh my God, there's definitely something in the tank high? You can look at, one thing you can look at are the screws on your pumps, on your, what is it? On your, like your, not your power heads, but like your skimmers, all the screws for that. You can look at that. I'm not really sure if rust comes through on a pump, like say like an MP10 rusted or whatever. Would that come through as zinc? I don't really know. I don't know what that would come through as. But either way, if you have MP40s or MP10s or anything like that, MP60s, look and see if there's a crack. I know that sometimes the housing gets cracked and then the water gets in there and it rusts out the inside. I mean, I have a pump right here that has rust on the inside, an MP40. So you might be getting a little bit like that, but I don't know what rust shows up as on an ICP test. At least I don't remember what it is. But also I know that like Marine Pure has been known to show aluminum levels. So I don't know if you have any other kind of media in the tank. Other than that, just take a flashlight, go into your sump, look around, take out all your Chaeto, go in there with a magnet, move it around. You might grab something, a little screw here and there. I guess it just really depends on how high the levels are. But that's about the best I can do for you on that one. If you figure it out, feel free to let me know. You can send me an email or you can hit me up on here next time. You checked all the pumps and the heaters. Yeah. So it could be a screw. It could be a few other things, but yeah, just let me know what you figure out. Brandon, yeah, your order's actually done. It's sitting on my desk right now. Yeah, we were waiting on Black Pet G for about 2 weeks. It was back ordered. One of the downsides of I've been trying to get filament from a different company, but the downside is that they're delaying, which is causing me issues. So the price is good, but the delay is kind of making the price not good, if that makes sense. So I might have to switch back to my original company for PLA and for that. So I do have a name. I do have a brother named Brandon. Yeah, he actually just called me this morning. I got to call him back tonight. But yeah, so yeah, there's about 30 orders sitting right next to the desk that are going to go out tomorrow, and yours is one of them. Speaking of that, we are doing the buy 3 get 1 free. As you guys know, if you put 4 items in your cart, you get the one of them for free. It defaults as like the lower price one will come off as free, so just check that out. Also, I will be doing a video on the new drain system for the CO2 attachments. A lot of you guys are reaching out saying, "Hey man, I'm sucking skimate up into my CO2 scrubber. How should I fix this?" Well, I created an option for you to fix it, a DIY option, or I can make one for you. They're on the website, so it's working out pretty good. I've already had people test them out. They work great, so you don't have to worry about getting a skimate into your reactors anymore. Sorry it took me so long to figure that out for you guys, by the way. Hello from London. Great information. Yeah, I want to go to London. I heard the food is pretty good over there. Yeah, I definitely want to try that. For dosing calc to a nano, would you suggest the Jabo 3.4 doser for the Comore X1 Pro, or is there a better budget option that I'm not aware of? Trustworthy again, a nano calc, so it's risky. Well, you can do the ATO. You can start off really low amount of calc in your auto top off system and go from there. Since it's a nano, I don't think you should be. I mean, you can if you want to invest more more money. I know people who've got 10-gallon tanks with apexes on them. So I mean, hey, I mean, whatever your budget allows. But I would go right with the ATO. Start off with the lowest amount of calc, see how it works out compared to how much you're evaporating per what's being dosed, and go from there. You can just adjust the dose. More calc. If you're out competing your auto top off system, you can go to a calc stir, or you can do a JBO pump, stuff like that. What I would do is when it comes to pulling calc, I don't like pulling it through tubing, excuse me, because it clogs up the tubing. So what I would do is you can do a DIY calc reactor, and you can pump water into the reactor and then have it actually spill over into the tank. That would allow it to, dose as well. So it's up to you. I'm just not a fan of pulling calc actually through tubing because it just does a lot of work on the tubing. So, yep, few options for you. Let's see here. I've been running my tank fallow for a bit. NO3 has always been around 1 ppm. My NIOS test kit. So I tried to raise it to 3 to with neo nitro, and it seems to have caused elk spike and pissed off Monty's. For one, you should have used mine. My stuff is awesome. Just playing. I always throw out my own nitrates and phosphates, but that's just because that's me. But when it comes to it, so what happened is you had an elk spike, so which means let me just read that around. Let me read that again. So I raised it to 3 neonitrate, and it seems to have caused an elk spike. So what happened is your nitrates went up and your corals stopped growing. That means you dose too quickly. You dose too much to raise it to 3. I know you said you're going fallow. I think you're the one dealing with the was it ick? I think it was ick. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But basically what happened is you shocked the coral when you dosed. You shocked the coral and they didn't want to grow, and that's how you got the elk spike because they weren't consuming, and from the stress of the extra nutrients. Just give it time. It will balance out. They'll start growing again. Just next time, if you're going to jump up even from 0 to even 3 to 5 ppm of nitrates, it's good to just dial back your alkalinity because they do, depending on how much coral's in the tank, they do tend to stop growing just for a little while. But yeah, it's pretty common actually. Yep. And vice versa too. If you go from higher nutrients down to 0, they'll do the same thing. They'll stress out and stop growing. You'll get elk spikes. Yep. It's pretty common. Yep. Please, cowboy hats and sombreros. Okay, yeah, man, I'll get that done, man. I will work on that for you. I still got your order here too. I had an issue printing a couple things. I'll talk to you about that. I'll shoot you an email. But yeah, I will work on the sea urchin stuff for you for sure. All right. Algae grow on bare bottom. What? Okay. I got distracted with the duck with the pipe. Okay. Algae grow on bare bottom and back of the tank. Do you leave it or clean it with coralline for the coralline to grow? If there's algae growing on a surface that you can clean easily, remove it, because what's going to happen is if algae is going to grow in that tank, it's going to consume nutrients, which nutrients can be used to grow coralline, and they can be used to grow your coral. So if it's growing in the tank and you can actually clean it, like if it's on the glass, then yeah, you need to clean it off just to get it out so it's not consuming nutrients that you otherwise would be using for your coral. So yeah, get rid of it. The only time algae should be growing is in a refugium, period. It shouldn't be anywhere else in the tank unless you like that look. Some people like to have algae growing in the tank, but I'm not a fan of it. So if people can hang, we already read RTN and STN on, I don't know what that means. A lid of coral, a lot of, I don't know what you mean a lot of coral. You might have to say that again. I don't know what you mean. I think rust is tin. Okay, yeah, I'll have to double check that. I knew the answer to that a while ago. I just haven't looked. Okay, I'm getting this. Okay, cool. Just fixing that. We're good to go. Okay, moving down. Hey man, ordered some frag discs. We took care of that. I do have a brother named Brandon. I gotta call him. Thoughts on potassium? I dose potassium every week. I was working on my own potassium, but I got sidetracked and never finished it. It's still downstairs, but yeah. Yeah, so potassium is pretty important. It definitely helps with the blue and purple pigmentation of the tank. The corals grow better with it. They're happier with it. If you're going to dose it, you need to test it. So get a potassium test kit. It's a pretty easy test kit. I think. Do I have one here? Yeah, potassium from Salifert. That's what I use. I'm actually going to make a test kit holder for it at some point. But if you're dosing it, test it. Potassium's good. So yep, good. Um, yeah, that's one thing I got to talk about as well in the business is I got rid of a whole bunch of stuff because I needed to focus more. I kept getting distracted by things. So I have a 90-gallon tank and a 45 frag tank all connected to one sump. My 45 is getting green hair algae. I stopped dosing NO3 and PO4 now. I'm getting dino and my 90-gallon. What should I do? Okay, so the reason why you got dino is because the green hair algae consumed all the nitrates and phosphates. Now you stop dosing nitrates and phosphates to get rid of the green hair algae, but you ended up stripping the tank completely. So what I would do is I would manually remove the algae from the frag tank. It's a frag tank. You should be able to get in there and get that algae out. You can use a cleanup crew. You can use sturgeon fish, tang, stuff like that. But you want to get that algae out of the tank. Now, another way you can do it is get a refugium. If you don't have a refugium, which I definitely recommend people use a refugium, you can focus a lot of the growth, and the refugium will actually outcompete the green hair algae, and that will help as well. So when it comes to the dino, most likely you got dino because your nitrates and phosphates are zero. So I would again focus on manually removing that algae, get it out of there. It's okay to start dosing nitrates and phosphates again, and also manually remove the dino. So that's going to be a daily thing. You're going to remove the green hair algae and the dino every day. Try to keep your nitrates and phosphates in an appropriate range, 3 to 5 ppm for nitrates, and 0.07 to 0.15 for your phosphates. Try to keep them there. Things will balance back out, and just keep the hair algae under control. Keep it out of the tank. And again, you can use a refugium to help with that as well. So that is my my information, my recommendation. Rust is iron oxide. Okay, iron oxide. So that would show up as just iron on the test. Yeah, it would just show up as iron on the test, I'm guessing. Yeah. 400 for potassium. Yeah, 400. I think it's 450. I think it's between 380 and 450 for potassium. I'm pretty sure. Don't let me see if I have it here. Let me just look. I don't remember. I have to check my Apex. Reef tank potassium levels. Let me just see what it recommends. 360 to 380. So yeah, 400 is fine. I know that I say like 415 is pretty common for my tank. So around there, you're fine. That's good. This is awesome, bro. Respect. No problem. Appreciate it. I'm going to order some NO3, some of your NO3. How much would you suggest raising to help prevent growth issue? And you said lower elk dose. Okay, so the only reason why you got an elk dose is because you increase from 1 to 3 too quickly. It just shocked the tank. It's pretty common for SPS corals. If you have any major fluctuation with even alkalinity and especially your nutrients, that will stunt the growth of the coral temporarily. By the time you're getting to this video, it's probably been a few days. They're going to adjust to it already. But what I do is in the 300, if I have an issue, and I could probably do a video on this as well, but if I start having low nutrients and I start dosing a pretty decent amount of nitrates and phosphates, I will keep a closer eye on my alkalinity. So I will test instead of every few days, I'll test every day just to keep an eye on it. I guess rule of thumb, if you're making any adjustments to your nutrients, you should test your alkalinity daily just to make sure, because you are going to get a little bit of a stall period while they adjust to the nutrients, just like lighting. If you get new lighting over your tank, there's going to be a point where the corals aren't growing because they need to adjust to the lighting. And once they get adjusted to it, they'll kick back into their normal photosynthetic rhythm, and they'll keep going and growing. And then, yeah, so again, I'll probably do a video on that as well. Let me write that down. So keep an eye on your alkalinity if you're making any adjustments on your nitrates and phosphates. I'll do that. Let me write that down. And eye on your elk when making NO3 PO4 adjustments. And I'll do more in-depth video on that later on. But yeah, so that's what happened. So what I would do is keep your dose the way it is, because if you're dosing the amount of nitrates and phosphates now to keep it at 3 and that's where you want it, then just keep an eye on your alkalinity. Bring it down a little bit. As they adjust, you'll probably have to turn it back up. So just keep an eye on that. I'm about to lose my voice. We're gonna have to go for like another minute or two because it's pretty much gone. You sold me a Frago Jason Fox anacorporal coral about a year and a half ago. Now it's the size of a softball. Sick coral. Hey, send me a picture of that. I'd be interested in seeing it. I'll probably be interested in buying some of it back from you. Given Big Bertha killed my whole tank. My tank is locked in and everything is doing well. Awesome. Cool. You send me a picture of that. fishofhex@gmail.com. I'd be interested to see it. There's so much coral that I don't have that I used to have. It's quite depressing, but I'm working on it. It takes time. But anyways, guys, my voice is done. I've been talking for 35 minutes. It's not going any farther. So I'll work on the hats for you, Caleb. I'll work on some videos this week. I'll get a couple videos out for you guys this week. Don't worry about that. Definitely will. One good thing about the boys going to schools, I just have Ryder here with me, and he naps still for like 2 hours in the afternoon. So that gives me time to sit down and create some content, which is really nice. But yeah, so if you guys want to support the channel, head over to fishofhex.com. Again, buy 3, get 1 free 3D printing. And yeah, appreciate you guys being here. I'll talk to you later. Peace.